New York City in the 1860s. Home to police officer Edward Struck, his wife Lydia, and their 6 children.
Struck was somebody who obviously was struggling to support this large brood.
What are you reading?
They manage the best they can until a public scandal takes away their livelihood.
Edward, dear. You're home.
I am.
You said you had something to talk to me about.
I have. It's not good news.
What is it?
I have lost my employment.
Struck's career as a police officer came to a very abrupt end.
Edward, how did this happen?
I don't know. They say it was an impropriety.
An impropriety? What does
He was
that
accused of cowardice, and he was fired from the force.
mean? God. Well, Edward, what's going to happen to us?
I don't know.
The shame is too much for Edward.
How are we going to eat?
He plunged into a depression and became increasingly really a kind of housebound invalid.
Who is going to feed us?
He started to become a heavy burden on the family.
A burden his wife Lydia does not wish to carry. She has a plan. A way Edward can help ease the load. His life insurance policy.
When Lydia, as a young adult, faced adversity, her solution was to kill him.
Edward's tea will have an extra ingredient today: arsenic. Easily obtained in the 1860s.
Lydia had no trouble at all just going to the local druggist and getting very, very, very large amount of arsenic.
Here's some tea.
This toxic drug is also simple to administer. But it is by no means a gentle death.
They look like they're in distress, and they are. The inner part of the stomach starts to slough away, and there is great irritation. There's bleeding. Then they get diarrhea, and then they start to get convulsions following that.
Edward Struck probably suffered more than Jack the Ripper's victims. Jack the Ripper murdered his victims very, very swiftly.
No one suspects foul play from a wife and mother.
This would have been a good way to cause a death, and to cause it unsuspectingly, because it could mimic consumption.
One death is not enough for Lydia. Now she has a hunger for more than money.
I think Lydia had developed a taste for murder.
And those closest to her are the most in danger. Children rely on their mother for nourishment. But tonight, Lydia is serving death. lethal doses of arsenic.
Poisoning is a common method of homicide that we see women involved in. They can be close to the person, feed them food, or get them a drink as if they care about them, when in fact they've just put a nail in their coffin.
Lydia starts with the most vulnerable.
So glad you came. Please check my baby first.
Certainly. Let me take a look.
Her taste for murder has developed into an unhealthy appetite.
Sorry.
She enjoyed wielding the power of life or death over another person.
Would you check my son?
How long has he been sick?
2, 3 hours. He's very painful.
He certainly is very pale.
Even if that other person was her own innocent children.
Once Lydia starts killing, she can't stop.
She's become addicted to murder.
Her own children. It would have been easier and certainly more moral for her to simply give them up to an orphanage.
All of it? Drink all of it for me. That's it.
In Victorian times, it's believed the gentler sex is incapable of serial murders.
You're seeing somebody who is driven, by extremely deep and deranged and perverted sadistic impulses.
Lydia Sherman changes perceptions forever.
We don't know exactly what made Lydia tick. What we do know is that by the time she was a young adult, a young mother,
Very good for your cough.
she was a sociopath.
In less than 2 years, Lydia Sherman's entire family is dead without anyone suspecting murder.
One would think that would have been enough. She was free of her family. She was free to do anything she wanted now. But she chose to marry again.
New York City in 1871. The merry widow, Lydia Sherman, marries again. Wealthy Connecticut farmer Dennis Hurlburt has no idea he's in love with a serial killer.
Male serial murderers tend to prey on strangers, whereas female serial murderers tend to prey on acquaintances and loved ones and family members, people they have some sort of intimate relationship with.
The happiness she displayed outwardly to the world about her new husband was completely false.
Just months into the marriage, Dennis is dead.
She married him for his money and planned to kill him all along.
Lydia inherits his substantial wealth. She has money and freedom, but it is not enough.
With serial murders, of course, is once they commit one murder, they sometimes develop this taste for it.
She is now addicted to killing.
Every time she got away with it, it bought her her next murder.
Lydia has no trouble finding new victims. Next is widower Horatio Sherman.
Mrs. Holbert, Horatio Sherman is my name.
Hello, Mr. Sherman.
She enters his home as nanny to his 2 young children.
Inform me that you make a mighty fine housekeeper.
One of the most frightening aspects of these psychopathic killers is the extent to which they can simulate
We'd be honored.
normal human reactions and behavior.
Horatio soon falls for Lydia's charm.
She then married her final husband, and the one who, gave her the name by which she is best known, Lydia Sherman.
But Lydia is not happy sharing the home with Horatio's children. She resorts to old, bad habits. First, she kills little Frankie, then Ada,
For Lydia, killing took on a nature of its own. It became a method whereby she dealt with problems.
Horatio, to the class. Pull yourself together. Turn away. Turn away.
Her solution wasn't to leave herself. It wasn't to talk things out. It was to kill them.
her heartbroken husband turns to alcohol.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry.
Just leave me be. Please, go now.
It is a fatal mistake.
There's no indication that Sherman ever felt any sort of twinge of guilt or remorse.
Sorry. We'll be soon. I'll leave you alone.
That actually is one of the defining characteristics of a psychopathic personality, is a complete absence of a conscience.
But this is the last time Lydia will enjoy the pleasure of killing. The family doctor orders an autopsy. Massive doses of arsenic are discovered. In 1872, Lydia is arrested and convicted of her husband's murder. The next year, she confesses to killing 3 husbands and 7 children. Lydia Sherman is sentenced to life in prison. The nation is stunned.
She was very, very notorious. There were ballads written about her. There were nursery rhymes sung about her. They made Lydia Sherman really into a kind of huge criminal celebrity.
The Queen of Poison introduces the world to the horrific concept of the female serial killer.
Thank goodness Lydia was caught and taken away from society, because I don't believe she ever would have stopped poisoning people. It was in her blood, so to speak. She liked it. She knew it was wrong. She did it anyway. And there's an endless supply of potential victims.
When a wife is unfaithful,
she wanted everything for herself.
I'm leaving.
relationships
I can't live like this anymore.
are destroyed.
She was the mastermind. She was the one telling them what to do.
And there are casualties, sometimes fatal.
She has no regard for human life.
1997, Bridgeville, Delaware.
You're late.
I had to work back and then do the shopping.
A 20-year marriage hits rock bottom.
Well, you can't expect me to sit around here all day watching
An endless struggle to make ends meet
You're hopeless, John.
takes its toll.
You're hopeless.
Linda Lou, you have got to stop hitting me.
There was a lot of arguments, a lot of conflict between Linda Lou Charbonneau and John Charbonneau. And I think it was over silly, petty things like that.
Linda Lou Charbonneau has had enough of life with husband John. His heart condition means he can't work.
Really, the only income for the household was the Social Security that John Charbonneau was receiving.
Linda Lou wants a better life and doesn't look far.
Hey, honey, look who's come to visit us. It's Billy.
Oh, hi there, Billy.
Hey, Linda.
Oh.
She turns her attention to her husband's nephew, Billy Sproats.
Sure.
My, your hair is grown. Really suits you like that.
Billy Sproats was in love with Linda Charbonneau.
You should come around more often.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Linda Lou shocks her family by moving in with Billy, who's 10 years younger.
Do you have time for it?
But I don't think Linda Lou Charbonneau actually loved Billy Sproats. I think Linda Lou Charbonneau used Billy Sproats for her own gain.
But like his uncle, Billy doesn't have a job. And his lack of means soon turns his new wife against him.
This isn't working, Billy. The electricity is out again. I can't believe
But then she realized maybe that wasn't so much better after all.
I can't do this anymore.
They couldn't even pay the
Never
electric
had
bill.
any money. At least when I was with John, there was regular money coming in. But here, nothing. No, no, it's over. I'm going back to John.
She was just very cold, and she wanted everything for herself.
Incredibly, her first husband takes her back with few questions.
I don't think Linda was particularly capable of love, but he did offer her something she needed. His money.
Linda Lou never wants to lose his Social Security again. She has a plan. She convinces her daughter Melissa and her boyfriend Willie Brown to help.
I think she was brainwashed by Linda Lou Charbonneau, her mother. Basically, she would do anything that she asked her to do. They were very close.
September 23rd, 2001.
What was that?
Someone's breaking into the house. Go and take
Melissa proves her loyalty to her mother.
Two things strike me as unusual about a mother eliciting her daughter's help to kill her husband. Number one, that mom felt okay in asking. And number two, that the daughter felt okay in helping.
Please, help me!
This was not a normal family.
Terrified and barely conscious, John's ordeal is only beginning. September 23rd, 2001, Bridgeville, Delaware. Linda Lou has orchestrated the murder of her first husband, but is keeping her hands clean for now.
Please, don't do this! You're not gonna let him do this to me!
He was alive, and he was just actually begging for his life.
Melissa and her boyfriend, Willie Brown, finish off her stepfather.
Melissa was sitting in the car listening to country music.
With a regular money flow coming in, Linda Lou runs back to husband Billy.
Hold on, Red. Oh, Billy, can you take that box out for us?
Why does this box got blood all over it?
During the move. That's how the
But
blood
with
got
his
on it.
uncle missing, Billy is suspicious.
He discovered a box that had a significant amount of blood on it, and he kept asking questions about it.
Cut her leg. When?
Keep your mouth shut about the box.
Billy decides to share his suspicions with the police.
I'm concerned about my uncle, John Charbonneau,
John Charbonneau.
as I haven't been able to reach him for at least 2 weeks.
Why are you so worried for?
Well,
In the back of his mind, I think he was suspicious that his Uncle John had met with foul play.
I'm concerned something may have happened to him.
Okay,
That was the time that Linda Charbonneau decided something needed to be done about Billy because he was asking too many questions. And she thought, he was getting too close.
He knows too much. He's getting too
Linda
close.
didn't have much of an education. What she did know was people
I'll phone him. I'll ask him to meet me at his house.
and how to manipulate them.
Do you know what to do?
She was a scholar at that.
October 17th, 2001. Linda Lou strikes again.
She was the mastermind. She was the one telling them what to do.
Hey, Linda, you here?
She put him in a trap, essentially.
He was beaten with a wooden handle that had D batteries taped to the outside of it. There was a lot of blunt force trauma to the head and stab wounds also.
He's still alive.
Linda is a cold, heartless person. She has no regard for human life.
Billy Spruce was not dead at the time that he was buried. He was actually buried alive.
Linda Lou thinks she solved both her problems.
Don't worry, you won't be able to get out from under there.
But she hasn't counted on the police. They now have 2 missing persons, and the common link is Linda Lou. It's not long before they flush out the truth.
The daughter ratted out her mom.
Willie Brown also admits his involvement and leads police to the grave of John Charbonneau.
Willie Brown, during his interview, basically said that he killed John Charbonneau at the request of Linda Lou.
Boyfriend Willie Brown gets 2 life sentences with no chance of parole. Linda Lou's daughter, Melissa, is also found guilty and sentenced to 25 years.
Melissa explained that she had a role in it as well, but it was her mom who was telling them what to do, how to carry it out. She's the one who lured her husbands to their death.
In May 2007, Linda Lou pleads guilty to second-degree murder. She is sentenced to a maximum of 20 years in the Women's Correctional Institute, Delaware.
How lacking can a woman's life be that killing 2 people just to secure about $1,000 a month Social Security check was worth the murders?
Linda Lou Charbonneau is eligible for parole in 2017.
Linda Charbonneau may be out of prison in a few years. She could be your neighbor. She could be your babysitter. She could be your girlfriend. Just make sure she doesn't become your wife.
Buckingham Palace, the ultimate symbol of England's pomp and ceremony, home to Britain's kings and queens. Only a few privileged outsiders get to know life inside these hallowed halls.
Hey, Sal.
Working-class girl Jane Andrews will be one of the lucky ones. In 1988, the shop assistant answers an intriguing ad in a magazine.
But it's got to be someone wealthy. I mean, it's not just anyone that puts an ad in the Lady, is it? Yeah. I'm going to go for it.
The job is beyond Jane's wildest dreams. Working for the Queen's daughter-in-law, the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson.
All of a sudden, Jane was being allowed to walk down the corridors of Buckingham Palace and other great houses to go with Sarah Ferguson wherever she went. She allowed Jane Andrews to become a central part of her life. And as a result of that, of course, Jane Andrews could move in circles that she would never dreamt of. She went to the best parties. She met famous people. She earned a good living.
Rubbing shoulders with England's elite, Jane meets her own Prince Charming.
Jane Andrews.
Lovely to meet you.
Likewise.
You look absolutely ravishing.
The wealthy stepson of a Greek shipping magnate. But Dimitri doesn't know what he is in for.
The picture we found there was actually very disturbing. that she had a propensity for manipulation, used violence on a number of occasions, certainly stalking behaviour, could be very foul-mouthed.
She was extremely dramatic, extremely manipulative.
I'm a dresser.
Ah, yes, the Duchess of York.
You've done your research.
Most certainly, ma'am.
This was a woman who was always on the edge.
Jane sees rich men as her ticket to the high life.
Jane wasn't so much looking for love as she was looking for financial security, a big, fat wallet.
This lovely music. Would you like to join me as well?
Well, I'd be inclined to say yes.
Let's do that then.
She's been described variously in the media as a bit of a gold digger. She had airs and graces above her station.
It's been great, really, it has.
It doesn't take long before Dimitri sees Jane's dark side.
What do you mean it's not working out?
Exactly that, it's not working out. Exactly.
This is a woman that pushed. She always wanted more. So she always wanted more time. She always wanted more affection. She always wanted more money, being taken out to better restaurants.
Are you leaving me?
Being dumped by her lover brings out the worst in Jane.
You can't leave me, you bastard!
Goodness sakes, you're making this
She no longer acts like a lady.
It's ridiculous! I'll show you ridiculous!
You know what? You're making this incredibly easy, okay? I'm leaving now.
You can't! You can't leave me! You're a bastard!
She couldn't stand rejection.
I'll show you!
When he rejected her, she ripped up his clothes and stole a cheque from his checkbook.
The world he brought to her, the wealth, the parties, the important rich people, it would all be gone.
Bastard!
If a guy comes home and finds that his suits and shirts have all been slashed to pieces, I'd head for the airport.
Dimitri escapes. But the next man won't be so lucky. Desperate not to lose her entry into high society, Jane soon finds a replacement.
Tom, what do you do?
Tom
What kind of
Cressman.
things are you into?
Fast cars, boats. Yes.
He comes from a rich family and is a successful businessman in his own right.
Yes.
I met Mr. Cressman a couple of times. He was quite an interesting personality. He ticked a lot of Jane's boxes. He was good looking, he had wealth, he had a good taste, beautiful cars, lovely flats, well furnished, and he had that sort of authority with him that she liked. She always thought to herself, what can I get from this person?
Jane has had a taste of life at the top, and she wants to stay there, whatever the cost.
The match between Tom Cressman and Jane Andrews was made somewhere other than heaven.
And here I am.
Tell more.
No, you tell more. Tell me more about the cars.
Any man that got involved in a relationship with her would either be very brave or he's got a death wish.
1990s, London, England.
There's an ad in here for a person.
A working-class girl answers an ad in a magazine and ends up working for the royal family. Jane Andrews not only walks the corridors of Buckingham Palace, but has a wealthy high society boyfriend.
Her relationships had a sort of central core about them, and it was always about what more can you as a man give me.
And generally the sort of people she would have affairs with or relationships with would have been people of high net worth, people with some influence.
Tom, I'm serious. I'm giving you an ultimatum of 6 months until you have to propose to me.
Her future seems assured. All she needs is a marriage proposal.
Can't we talk about this on the hops? Yeah. Come on.
On the holidays?
Yeah. Come on.
Well, as long as we do discuss it.
Okay, come on.
But things take a turn for the worse. Jane gets fired by the Duchess.
Sarah Ferguson probably thought that Jane Andrews was getting a little bit above herself, and it became a convenient excuse for her to cite money troubles to let this woman go.
The official reason was downscaling.
I think Jane may have been way, way out of her league working for the royal family with such a demanding job. The stress must have been enormous.
For a woman who can't cope with rejection, it is a crippling blow.
Her losing her job to Sarah Ferguson basically set her off. This was a woman who had a job for life, earning good money. All of a sudden, she's cast out. She takes a PR job, she fails at that. She then becomes a shop assistant.
Her rags to royalty story is over. Jane is back at the shop front.
Do you know, Tom, I love you.
Now her only hope of keeping up appearances is Tom.
Tom Cresman is her way out, her meal ticket.
So I love you too.
That's it? Is that all I get?
She always pressurised men. She always pushed them into a situation where they would walk out on her.
Tom went away for a weekend where he met another woman. Shortly thereafter, Jane found emails that he had sent that woman describing the old girlfriend similar to an old pair of slippers. Nice to have around, but didn't really want her. This devastated Jane.
And all of a sudden, her dreams begin to disintegrate. Not only has she lost the job with Sarah Ferguson, she's now losing the man she loves. And that is the beginning of the end for her.
I think he was very worried by some of Jane's possessive behaviour, and I think he was thinking, do I want to have this for the rest of my life?
A letter Tom has hidden in the closet confirms there will be no wedding.
He wrote a letter. I do love you, but you're a bit too intense. I need time, I need space, I need to think about it. I'm not ready to make a commitment to you.
The moment it became apparent that he wouldn't marry her, Mr. Cresman was fair game. And that's the trouble with Jane Andrews, is that there is no end to that emotional spectrum. She loved him, she hated him.
Tom! Tom! What's this letter I just found? Did you write it? Is it true?
There was a confrontation. Tom told Jane he had no intention of marrying her.
I need time, I need space to think.
Oh, I'll give you all the space you need!
Jane and Tom got into a terrible fight.
Yes, we're having a row.
Tom called the police and told them if somebody didn't come over and stop the fighting, that one of them was going to be hurt.
You can see where this was going. Increasing rows, more bitterness, more anger. And this was a woman who was going to blow.
The police never come. And Tom will never see daylight again.
She came into the room. She hit him across the head. There was an indentation on his forehead. That would clearly, at the very least, have stunned him.
I think Jane hit Tom in the head first because she wanted to make sure he could not fight back.
She took an 8-inch kitchen knife and stabbed him through the chest, and it hit the left ventricle, which caused massive internal bleeding. He basically bled to death.
Jane may have thought of killing Tom before this horrible night, But it really came into focus for her when he completely rejected her. At least that's what she felt. And she ended the pain, and she made him pay.
Jane flees and sends bizarre text messages to her rich and royal friends.
Sends text to various people, including the Duchess of York, stating that Tom had been murdered by somebody else, and she was surprised by it all. Now, you know, that's her first reaction. That shows a very manipulative and calculating person.
There's enough evidence to make Jane the prime suspect. Police track her cell phone and 2 days later arrest her. Jane's defense is that she's the victim. Tom attacked her.
She murdered him in life, and she murdered him again in death by trying to destroy his reputation. Tom was, in fact, Mr. Nice Guy. I mean, the evidence was overwhelming, and the jury clearly believed the prosecution story because we had amassed so much evidence.
In 2001, Jane is sentenced to life in prison. She's eligible for parole in 2012.
If she had shown remorse at the earliest opportunity, had admitted her guilt, she probably would look at manslaughter and probably got 5 or 6 years.
I don't think Jane is a born killer. I think there was a sequence of events in her life that led her to staying in a bad relationship and then ending that relationship badly.